ahead. I don't know.
I'm in a new shop, and I've got a new project. Now I say new project, but this isn't actually a new project car. What this is a new chassis I bought for my existing project car, my blue S13. Now if anyone's not familiar with my blue S13, here's a quick backstory. I bought this really rusty S13. I hacked out all the rust, Frankensteined the body together, threw a body kit on it, threw a turbo in it, and turned it into a kind of decent street car. I've driven it for about 2 years now in its current form, and it's been alright. It's fun to drive, but it's really given me an understanding of what that car needs in order for me to take it from kind of decent street car to actually good street car. The number one thing on my list was always to get a clean chassis and reshell the car. Right now I run that aggressive body kit, and I don't really like the style of it. So now I've got this new shop, I've got more space, I was able to pick up this cleanish chassis that I can use as the foundation for the next phase of this project. Basically, the goal going forward is to take this red S13, take my teal S13, and combine them both to make a clean, drivable, genuinely good street car. I'm not really going to do any work to this car in this video. I'm really just going to go over the red chassis and kind of show you what we're working with here. Now, it's important to note that I really don't care about the quality or the condition of anything on this car except for the bare chassis itself. Any of the interior pieces or suspension pieces, I really don't care. I literally just bought this car for the chassis. Anything on top of it is either a bonus or it's something I gotta take to the dump. I don't really know what the previous 40 owners used this car for before I got my hands on it, but there's some evidence to suggest that, somebody was modifying it. It was somebody's project car, and here's some reasons I think that. For starters, the hatch has about 90 rivets drilled into it, where somebody clearly used to have a duckbill spoiler. The dashboard has been cut for a roll cage, which is a bummer, because I have a good black dashboard in my Teal 240, so I don't really care about the condition of this one. But this is a factory brown interior on this car, which, if it hadn't been hacked up, I would use the brown interior, because I think it's awesome. But the factory brown interior on this car has been destroyed, so I can't use it. But it would have been cool if I could have. But it's possible this car never had a cage, and just this dashboard came out of a different car. I don't know. The hood has been painted black and drilled out for hood pins. So, somebody thought it was a race car. The engine harness has been just mangled beyond all repair, which doesn't bother me. I've already got an engine and an engine harness, but I don't know. I feel bad for whoever might have been trying to work with this harness, because it's nonsense. Now, there is one thing about this chassis that I didn't notice when I was buying it that's actually kind of a pain in the ass, kind of a big deal, and it's that somebody cut out the wheel wells. I did not, legitimately, I somehow managed, completely missed that when I was buying this car. As soon as I saw that it had clean quarter panels, I handed the guy the money and I put it on my trailer and I drove away. I really didn't look at this thing very closely. And that's annoying, but it's not a deal breaker. I can cut the wheel wells out of my old chassis and weld them in. I understand that it doesn't make much sense to talk about how much I want a clean chassis and then to immediately start talking about how I need to Frankenstein wheel wells back into the engine bay, but the engine bay is the engine bay. I care much more about the look of the outside of the car than the look of the inside of the engine bay, so I don't have a problem with just cutting the wheel wells out of my old chassis and putting them in this new chassis. It's never going to look factory perfect, but I'm really not that concerned about it. This is the passenger side of the car. There's a couple door dings here and there, but overall it's in very good shape. It's not going to take too much to get this side of the car looking clean again. The paint is in bad shape. That doesn't really bother me because I don't like red in the first place. And I will probably get this car a real paint job, not a rattle can paint job like I did last time. Now this car came completely packed full of parts, mostly body panels and interior panels. I don't know if any of them are going to be even remotely usable, but I think I'm going to dig them out of there and just take an inventory of what we got here. So as it turned out, there was way more junk crammed into that car than I thought there was. Here are some highlights. I've got an entire brown interior. Unfortunately, none of it is in better condition than my black interior, so I have no reason to use it. Probably just sell that. Got a bunch of the underbody plastics, which is kind of cool, I guess, but I don't have any clips for them. Got the remainder of the engine harness. That's complete garbage. I might strip it down and keep the wires. I've got these two blue front fenders. They're complete garbage and I'm not going to use them. I've got these two pop-up headlights, which I don't really need, but it actually might be handy to have a couple spare motors kicking around, so I might hang on to those. I've got this clutch master cylinder and slave cylinder. Somebody who's doing a manual swap will buy that from me, no question. I've got a spare steering rack, as well as a front subframe and a couple of tie rods, which, again, that could come in handy as spares. I might just keep those in the parts pile. I've also got this sway bar, which maybe I'll keep as a spare, but realistically, what am I going to do with a stock sway bar? I've got this headrest. This car didn't come with seats, so I don't know why it came with a headrest, but that's garbage. Got the shark nose front bumper, which may be salvageable, and I might try, because I do want to go back to the stock shark nose front end. But the thing with the shark nose front bumper is I can probably buy one in better condition for like $100, and that might be the path of least resistance here. Got a couple of windshield wipers. Score! Got a bag of assorted lug nuts. I don't know why every 240 seems to come with a bag of assorted lug nuts. Especially this one says Toyota on it, so I don't know if these are even the right thread. Got a spare e-brake handle with an electrical tape grip on it. That's garbage. And then there's more just assorted crap kicking around in the car that I didn't feel like taking out. Most of it's just more garbage. That is the basic summary of all the stuff that this car came with, is just a bunch of garbage. So anyways, that's a new project. Stay tuned. I'm sure I'll be putting out videos on this thing for at least the next year. In the next episode, I'm probably going to start tearing this thing down, just ripping parts off of it and tossing them into dumpsters. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.